What's good, 99 Dream family? We back at it, episode 38 of the 99 Dream Journey. My name is Julian Taliaferro. Y'all know we coming again with another weekly business update, lessons for the week, and topic for the day, which is relocation. And it's relocation because I finally made it all the way to San Antonio. Me and my pops drove 20 plus hours down here, so first just want to say thanks to God for, safe travels. But now that I'm here in San Antonio and I've relocated, now it's about how do I relocate my mind, right? How do I have relocation of spirit, relocation of body and work? So that's what's on my mind, and that's why it's going to be a topic. But before I go in with that, I want to start with the quote for this week, which is from Aaron Chavez, another one, and it's the hungry founder is going to eat always. And every time I hear this quote, it just makes me want to be that founder that's hungry, the be the founder that's starving, that's gonna put himself in positions that are uncomfortable, but at the end of the day will allow him to be successful. The founder that's gonna run through any barrier and fight for success. So I think it's that simple. And again, the quote is the hungry founder is gonna eat always, from Aaron Chavez. Now I can get in with my business update. So, like I said, now that I'm in San Antonio, I can only participate in the program virtually. But this last week, I just want to talk about a couple of takeaways that I had, the last remaining moments that I had in the program. And for me, it was just realizing the power of proximity and the power of being in the room. You can't overstate the effect of having 100 plus founders in one area, having all those bright and smart minds together, all trying to formulate, their plan towards success and trying to build their own startup. So for me, being able to feel that energy, having all these different insights, having different inputs on my idea, and for me to have my last one-on-one with Chris Daniels, who was the lead of the program, but also the founder of Shrimp Society, and hearing his different feedback on my idea and how I could build out, let's say, something a little bit differently, or what could I add here and take away there. Having another perspective is so valuable. It's so precious, right? So for me, it's realizing that now that I'm in San Antonio, it's of the utmost priority for me to find a similar community that's growing, a similar community that's pushing towards success, that's pushing towards building something. So that's a couple of takeaways, that I realized before I left. And then now that I'm here, and what I've been doing so far is just trying to figure out a timeline for the things that I need to get done for my objectives. So that's looking at how many customer interviews do I want to have in the upcoming months, right? How fast do I want to finish my prototype? How quickly can I get the different processes and flows in my business in order? How quickly can I get a financial model up and running, my website, my landing page up and running? So setting guideposts and timelines for all these objectives, that way I can have a plan, right? Because what's the quote people always say? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, right? I don't want that to be me. So I'm trying to make sure that I have everything organized and structured. That way I can be right on my way and just get to work. And then also in terms of my startup, I think I want to put out my pitch that I had a couple months back at school. That way you guys could have a little bit better understanding of what my idea is. And then also so I could have it up there for the memory banks, right? So for another memory to document the journey. So be looking out for that in the next couple of weeks. And that's my business update. So now I can get into my lessons of the week, and I have two of them for this episode. And the first one is don't hate the player, hate the game. And as I was driving down to San Antonio, being on the highway, on the road, being able to see all these different drivers, how some people have aggressive personalities on the road, some people drive passive, some people drive regular. Me personally, I don't think I'm an aggressive driver, but I think I'm an assertive driver. But anyway, like seeing all these different personalities, and although somebody may drive really aggressive, I realized that I can't get mad at them for driving that way because it works for them. A person may drive slower because it works for them. And my lesson from that is just that you have to use whatever advantage you have at your disposal, right? So if you're already predisposed to be somewhat aggressive, or if you're in a situation where you need to be, you have to identify that and then act on it, right? Or drive past if you need to be, right? Understand the situation and then take the correct persona in order to be the most successful. So play the game to your advantage, and you can't get mad at somebody for, you know, driving and going over to your lane and then going to the next lane, because at the end of the day, they're just trying to win in their own game, right? So you're playing your own game too, and you want to win as well. So play to your advantage. I'm not saying you got to be aggressive, right? Because some instances may call you to drive a little bit slower, or, you know, press on your brakes and change and go into a different lane. So I think it's just about, you know, really trying to figure out what game are you playing and then understand your strategy. So that's the first lesson. And then my second lesson is live your journey and only yours. So as I was on the road, had a lot of time to think, and I was just thinking about life, and I was trying to figure out how would I characterize it, you know, how would I define it, how would I describe it. And the best that I could come up with is just that life is life, and your life is your own. You can't compare. You know, people have different stories, backgrounds, proclivities, inclinations, and at the end of the day, all you can do is just work on figuring out what yours are, and just do you, right? Do yourself, live your life, and that way you're probably going to be the most happy, right? Because you're not focused on all these external things, but you're just focused on yourself. So that's the second lesson. So to recap, the first one is don't hate the player, hate the game. And the second one is live your journey and only yours. So with those two sections out the way, I can now hop into my topic for this week. And overall, it's kind of abstract. I have a couple of floating thoughts in my mind that I want to talk through. So if I'm rambling a little bit, or if I'm a little bit repetitive, that's why. But I'm just trying to get it out. So to start, as I was driving through these different states, I could feel the different vibe. As I was in Florida, I could feel it. And then as I crossed the border and went to, what was it, Mississippi, I could feel that. And then as I went to Texas, I could feel that. As I went to Louisiana, I could feel that. So each city, each town had a different vibe. And I started to ask myself, what makes each state have its own character, right? What makes the personality of each town and each city? So part of it is probably the people, part of it is probably, you know, the weather and things like that, probably multitude of factors. But then that goes to, if I'm in that city, is am I going to begin to take the persona of what I felt, right? So how is that city, how is that town going to influence me? So looking back on my time in Miami, I realized that it did affect me, and it did influence on how I see different things, on how I may view people, how I may view life. You know, it opened my eyes to a lot of things, and that is making me think San Antonio is going to have the same effect possibly, right? So how is San Antonio going to influence me? How is that going to change my behavior? What is it going to open my eyes to? So that's one of the things on my mind that I wanted to talk about. But then, like I said in the beginning of the episode, now I have to go through relocation of mind, relocation of body, relocation of work. So I'm somewhat reinventing myself. Although I'm taking with me the work that I put in the past couple months, the work that I put in on my startup, the things that I've learned, the knowledge that I've gained, at some level, I am beginning again, right? I am starting off at zero. So what does it look like as I go about building my community? What is it going to look like to tap in again to a spiritual side, to relocate my mind to a different area, relocate, you know, my body and things like that. So just things that I've been thinking about. And then for me, I think the biggest thing is just about having a positive outlook as I do this relocation. And having positivity, I feel, is beneficial in so many instances. But for me, it's telling myself that I'm going to make something shake no matter what. It's going to be a positive experience no matter what. I'm going to gain something out of it. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to find something here in this area, uh, whether I want to or not, because I have that positive outlook, because I have that positive mindset, and I know that God is with me. And last episode, I talked about how I made a list of questions on what I would want out of this next chapter, right? How would I see myself moving in this next season? And then writing out answers to all these questions. So now that I have these questions and answers listed out, now I need action, right? Now I need to put, words. Now I need to put, actions to my words and things like that. And for me, I feel like that's just where I'm at. So next steps for me are just getting settled and then starting to grind, set up my timeline for my startup, and then putting action to it, right? Start working on my customer interviews, start building my community, start working on my 9 to 5, right? That's a big thing as well. Integrating myself with my new job and hopefully building great relationships in the workplace as well. So, like I said, I was probably rambling a little bit, but just want to talk about things that were on my mind. And that's it for this episode. So, all right, let's get it, y'all. Go and achieve y'all 99 dream. And it's 99 dream because you are going to achieve your dream. And it would be 100%, but nobody, nothing is perfect. So you can achieve 99% of that. And let's go and let's get it.